Hello everyone, and welcome to Porterhouse Skyrim Mod Reviews. I'm your host Porterhouse, and that's no bull. Well everyone, I have a great 2-for-1 special for you all here today. It's going to be a long ride, so grab your favorite beverage and get comfy. The first one is a new sexy bikini armor mod from Nisetanaka, and the other is a big update to FNIS Sexy Move by Fore, who really did something clever with this new version. Now, some time ago, I had covered Nisetanaka's amazing world of bikini armor, and I will put a link to that review in the description. And that was supposed to be his final Skyrim mod because he wanted to switch his focus to his art, which is fantastic, by the way. As it turns out, Nisa had made another mod as a thanks just for those that had supported him. Well, I got an early copy of it, and it contained a ton of stuff, and not just bikini armors. It was really amazing. Well, not long after that, Kofman, who is the gentleman that does the CBBE HDT conversions, bless his heart, convinced Nisa to release this mod publicly. This is Bikini Ascend by Nisetanaka. Originally, the mod was jam-packed with all kinds of extra goodies, including some very awesome European medieval armors and a new location. However, for the publicly released version, it was scaled down to just the 2 bikini armors and the robes. Why is it called Bikini Ascend, you may ask? Well, Nisetanaka originally planned to release it as a mini-quest where you went to an island and then had to scale a castle to access the armors. This is something that he has done in the past to obtain special non-craftable pieces of armor, such as the sling bikini for the Dragonbone set. Upon later reflection, though, he decided to cut it from the mod, which I think is a pity since I have always enjoyed his mini-quests. In this pack, you get the Orc and Elven bikini armors and some titillating Thalmor Robes. The original mod was made for the 7B body, but is now also available in UUNP thanks to ThistimeIbeagoodgirlsir, and CBBE HDT thanks to the great Kofman. I will put links to those files in the description below. Now we're going to take a look at all 3 and some variations for each of them. First up, we have the Orc Armor, which has always been my least favorite of the vanilla armors, that is, until now. I always wondered if Nisa would make an Orsimer bikini armor and how it would turn out. Well, I got my answer, and it turned out sweet. He took the boring, lumpy-looking vanilla armor and turned it into something racy, sleek, and good-looking. The armor consists of 30 separate pieces, but I'm not going to list all of them for you, but I will tell you that there are gorgets, pauldrons, helmets, tassets, thongs, tops, gauntlets, and boots. There are also 2 breastplates that I really can't show you in their entirety on YouTube. It is a heavy armor and can be improved at the armor workbench using an orichalcum ingot per piece. Speaking of pieces, in just the orc version alone, there are enough pieces to make a totally unique armor set for your character and at least a couple followers. This has always been a trademark of Nisa's work, and it is something he has continued in the Bikini Ascend mod. Now, that being said, there will be some parts that when matched with others, some clipping will occur, so you might have to experiment a bit to find out what works best with what. To improve this armor set even more, I suggest using one of the Amidian-born retextures for the Orc Armor. I myself went with one of the lighter versions just because I thought it looked better. I will now show you a quick slideshow highlighting some of the mixes and matches for this armor set. Next up, we have the Elven Armor, which has an amazing 50 separate pieces and 2 weapons. Now, this set I expected to look good, and I was not disappointed. Nisa took the Elven motif, mixed it up, and definitely made it his own. The outfit has abs, tops, bottoms, gauntlets, gorgets, tassets, thigh plates, a ton of pauldrons, head and face wear, and these rather fetching leggings. My favorite madman from Japan went all out, making this armor a mix and match paradise for fans of Elven Armor. From relatively conservative to, oh god, I can't show this on YouTube, this is one sweet armor set. The Elven Bikini Armor is a light armor and can be improved at the workbench with a refined moonstone ingot per piece. To highlight the number of potential variations, I have another quick slideshow for you, so sit back and relax. Last but not least, we have the Thalmor Robes. Now, I have never been a big fan of robes in Skyrim, but in this case, I will make an exception. Compared to the other sets in this mod, there are relatively few pieces. We have the robes themselves, panties, boots, gloves, neck cover, and 3 hoods. Now, this does not detract from the quality of the set, and it was put together with Nice's eye for quality and sensuality. If you run a lady mage character or an elf, this may be the ideal armor mod for you. I will warn you, the front is extremely open and some slippage may occur. The Thalmor Robes, like the Elven Armor set, can be improved at the armor workbench with a refined moonstone ingot per piece. Okay, just a quick word on the weapons that came with this mod. It came with a elven sword and an elven baton. I'm usually not a big fan of elven weapons, but I like what Nisa has done with the sword in this case, and I will definitely be using this in the future, if not on my character, then on one of my NPCs. And I also forgot to mention that there is also a shield that comes with this set that is a slight variation of the vanilla. I liked what he did with it, and I'm going to be arming Shay with it for the combat clips, and I'm going to show you a little later so you get to see the armor in action. Now for our next mod in the review, I'm going to be covering one that has been out for some time and has been a staple of many people's games, including my own. If you have ever noticed the hip sway that my ladies have when walking, this mod is the reason why. This is FNIS Sexy Move by Fore. Now, I covered the FNIS Sexy Move in my Essential Mod series, link to that in the description. And then I had an online conversation with Fore, who, by the way, is a really nice person. And I was tickled to find out that he was updating Sexy Move to include a walk/run animation in any direction, so 360 degrees. Now, to get this mod to work properly, you will have to make sure that your FNIS is updated to version 7 or above, and then make sure that you run the Generate FNIS for Users afterwards, which is something that you should do for any animation mod. Also, don't be a dork like me and then update FNIS and then forget to install the new version of Sexy Move and then wonder why it isn't working. Yeah, I did that. Don't give me a hard time. I was really tired. If you have not installed FNIS before, be sure to follow Fore's instructions and carefully check the FAQs if you are having problems. The 360 degree move is an optional download, so if you want that feature, you need to get that as well. The MCM interface is extremely easy to use, and with it you can select how you want the NPCs to move in general and your character specifically. There are also options to turn the 360 movement on or off, set the average walk assignments, temporarily turn off the assignments, and to turn on the option for the NPC assignment dialogue. Now, the assignment dialogue is a feature that I use the most often, and what I'll do is I'll shut it off altogether for old ladies so they're not, strutting it, and I might ramp it up a bit for characters like Isolde or Carlotta. The interface is extremely intuitive to use, and the first time I loaded this up, years ago, I was blown away by how simple Fore had made it. So next up, I'm going to show you all of the walk animations in turn, so sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we will be back in a bit. As you saw, Fore did a great job making each move unique and progressively sexier until Tish was strutting like a runway model. The 360 degrees was turned on for each of the animations, so when I hit the S key, instead of walking backwards like in the default animation, which was the first set you saw, Tish instead turned around to face the camera as she walked, using the same actions as walking forwards. Now, as I was stating earlier, it is 360 degrees, so even when walking at an angle, either forwards or backwards, the same animation is used rather than defaulting to the vanilla. I also want to mention that this 360 degrees is also applied to the run animations as well. This change in the animation set and the update to FNIS Sexy Move is really a stroke of genius by Fore. Well, as I promised you all earlier, I'm going to show you some fighting clips. You get to see the new armors in action. And afterwards, I will tell you my final thoughts on both of these mods. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we will be back in a bit.
Signed on because I couldn't watch the Stormcloaks tearing everything apart.
Hey, watch it!
I had a great time putting the ladies through fight after fight, and with them wearing the Bikini Ascend armor sets, they barely took a scratch. Now, I did apply some resistances to the armor for fire-based attacks and improved it at the workbench, so your mileage may vary depending on your character's smithing and enchanting skills. In general, though, the armor was as every bit as protective as the vanilla counterparts, with the added bonus of being eye-catching and aesthetic. Nisetanaka really did us a great service applying his personal genius to making these armor sets look both plausible and still very spicy. Aside from some minor clipping with certain armor set mixes, everything looked good and worked together great. I did discover one issue with the Elven weapons, and that was that they did 0 damage until I took them to the grindstone and improved them. Now, I'm not sure why that is. It may have to do with how I obtained them via the Add Item menu mod. But as I was saying, and once I took them to the grindstone, everything worked fine. Kofman and ThistimeIbeagoodgirlsir Both did a terrific job converting the sets to CBBE and UUNP, and I cannot thank them enough for that. This time, ThistimeIbeagoodgirlsir told me it took about 3 days of work to convert the sets, plus a few days to fix any flaws. Kofman said that his work took about 8 days due to the holidays. He also noted that the Elven Armor was his favorite by a slim margin. Now, I'm going to go on record by saying that the Orc Armor is my favorite because it looks both rugged and appealing. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that the Orc weapons that you saw Tish using are just standard Orsimer weapons with a retexture mod by Crazy Lion applied. I wanted something special for this review, and Crazy Lion stuff really fit the bill. We also took a look at Fore's new version of FNIS Sexy Move, and I was impressed with how awesome it was all over again. The addition of the 360 degrees for the walk/run animations adds a whole new dimension to the game that we did not have prior to the new version of the mod. The MCM interface is simple and intuitive, and the changes take effect immediately. The only suggestion I have is to make the selection of the run/walk animations separate. The reason for that is the sexier that you make the walk, the higher the number that you select, and ladies, forgive me for this term, the more girly the run animation becomes. Now, if I could choose a separate run animation, I would choose number 4 while still keeping the walk animation from number 6. This is not really critique, it's just a suggestion. I highly recommend downloading and trying out both of these mods. Both authors really did a bang-up job making them. FNIS Sexy Move is available on the Nexus, but due to a disagreement between Nisetanaka and the Nexus staff, his mod plus the conversions are available elsewhere. I will put links to everything in the description. Finally, I want to let you know that Nisetanaka has his own Patreon now. If you are 18 plus, let me repeat that, 18 plus, I suggest you check it out and give my favorite mad genius some support. That's it for the review, and once again, I'm your host, Porterhouse. If you enjoyed my video, please remember to hit that like button, drop me a comment, and subscribe if you have not already done so. I will see you all at the next review.